Welcome back. This is your host, Josephu. This time we're going to look at a Flickerstrike Invoker Monk build. Basically just teleporting around, blowing people up in big clouds of ice. It's pretty chaotic, pretty fast and fun. It's been fun for me so far. I'm going to go over gear, skills, how you play it, all the fun involved, so let's get into it. Alright, this build is going to be brought to you by the Flickerstrike Invoker build on max roll, so I highly recommend you go here and check it out if you want really in-depth skills, gear, ascendancy, order, and all that kind of stuff. This is basically what I'm using. Alright, your basics for the build. Tempest Flurry, that's going to be your basic kind of melee attack. You'll use this to generate charges. You'll consume those charges using Charged Staff, which will buff your melee attacks considerably. You continue using Tempest Flurry with the Charged Staff buff until you have a lot of charges. Then you can use Flickerstrike to teleport yourself around the map, exploding people into chunks of ice and that sort of thing. So pretty amazing. So some other mechanics that you may want to pay attention to are your Charged Staff charges up here. It actually is a countdown. So when you actually use your Charged Staff with a power charge, let me get a charge going here. Just have to kill this guy. There we go. So when you actually use your Charged Staff, for each charge it consumes, it's going to add a little bit of time to that. You don't really ever want to let that run all the way down. It really decreases your melee capability, and if you're in the middle of a large, densely packed map, that's really bad. And you can get to the point where you may even become stun locked and not be able to use Charged Staff again to power up and be able to take down the enemies. To further buff our melee and just general power and defense, we are using several auras. We've got Wind Dancer, Grim Feast, Combat Frenzy, Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ice, which all really contribute quite a bit. Wind Dancer is defensive. When you actually get attacked and somebody hits you, it'll push people back. Grim Feast gives you more energy shield and defense. Combat Frenzy is where we're going to mainly get our charges. So this will allow you to gain a frenzy charge when you freeze, electrocute, or pin. We're going to be mainly freezing and electrocuting people. And through a passive skill tree node, right here, Resonance, when we get those frenzy charges, it's actually going to transfer them into endurance, or sorry, when we get a frenzy charge, it's going to put them into power charges instead, which is what we actually need. I wouldn't call it overpowered, but the main mechanic of this build comes with Flickerstrike and this support gem here, that there's a chance that when we remove a charge, it still counts as using them, but it doesn't actually remove them. And we can get quite a bit of charges. See over here, total chance not to remove charges 55%, additional strikes per charge 2. So every time we use a charge, that's 2 strikes. If it doesn't remove it, that's another 2 strikes, and that just has a chain reaction effect as you play this build. Okay, I'm going to jump in here. So currently I have no charges. You'll see that I'm going to use Tempest Flurry, this attack, and then I will build a charge. You can see now I have power charges. Now we will use Charged Staff. See, it turns into that lightning effect around the staff. Much more damage now. It also has a ranged effect. Still building up charges. So now when I use Flickerstrike, multiple attacks, Now see, it didn't actually even use all of my charges there, so I could continue using Flickerstrike if I need to. This is a lower tier map, so I'm going to end up one-shotting most of the monsters, and Flickerstrike will end early. If you come up on rares or harder to defeat monsters, bosses, the Flickerstrike can repeatedly attack one person. Sometimes you'll fly halfway across the map if the monster density is high enough. That's a good example there. I went way past the rare guy. Little bell down, damage. That's the basics of it. You have a lot of supporting things here, but you're pretty much just using Tempest Flurry, charging up, which removes your charges, and then using Flickerstrike on the big groups of people. Alright, that's it from my breakdown, guys. Just wanted to give a little quick description, get a feel for it for anybody who's interested. Really fun build. I would definitely recommend it for people who are just getting into Path of Exile. It's very easy to level, and it feels really powerful all the way through into maps, pretty much. It's a nice build.